We're going to get started lying down today. Once you stretch out on your mat, take a moment to adjust your shoulders and your arms, your hips and your legs. Take a deep breath in and let it out. And just let yourself be still. We are so used to moving and doing. It's nice to take some time to just be. So as you lie here on your mat, let yourself just be. Relax your body, breath by breath. And as always, listen to your body as we find movement today. Modify, amplify, do what you need to do to give yourself what you need while you're on the mat. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. And then stretch your arms overhead, reach your fingers back. Open and close your hands a few times. Stretch a little bit more through the left side of your body. Back to center and a little bit more through the right side. Back to center. And lower your arms down to your sides. Bend one knee and then the other, planting your feet on the mat. Reset your hips and then hug your knees in towards your chest, hands to the backs of your thighs. Circle your knees around a couple times one direction and then a couple times the other direction. We'll move into a happy baby. Open the soles of your feet to the sky. Hands can stay where they are or hold on to your calves, ankles, or feet. Just rock from side to side. And release your left foot down to the mat and send your right foot up to the sky. Straighten out your right leg, point and flex a few times. And pull your straight right leg in just a little closer to your belly. Then bend your right knee, keep your right knee hugged in as you extend your left leg and move into your twist. Guide your right leg over to the left, stretch your right arm out to the right, take a couple of breaths. Then back to center, keep your right knee hugged in and pull your left knee in to meet your right. Circle your knees around again, just as before, a couple times each direction. And then a happy baby. And release your right foot down to the mat, send your left foot up to the sky. Straighten out your left leg, point and flex a few times. And pull your straight left leg in. Put the bend back in your left knee, extend your right leg, and we'll move into our twist on this side. Guide your left leg over to the right, stretch your left arm out to the left. And back to center, keep your left knee in, hug your right knee in to meet your left, couple circles. Before sending both feet up to the sky, straighten out both legs, pull both legs in, just for a couple of breaths. Bend your knees, lower your feet down to the mat. And roll onto your side, support your head with your arm. Then press yourself up to a seated position. And cross your legs if that's available to you. Find some movement of your head, see how your neck feels. And then start to find movement in your shoulders. And back to stillness. And inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower your arms down. And inhale, reach higher. Exhale, lower your arms down. One more time, even higher. Inhale up. Exhale down. Gentle twist to the right. And back to center. Gentle twist to the left. And back to center. And walk your hands forward, fold forward. Walk your hands back in, return to an upright position. If your legs are crossed, switch the cross of your legs. Bring the other leg in front. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower down. And then we add on. Inhale, reach up. As you exhale, find cactus arms. Draw your elbows down shoulder height, palms face forward. Inhale, back up. Arms down at your sides. Exhale. And take that 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards one another. Inhale up. Exhale, arms down. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, arms down. And then we'll send the arms out in front of us. Bend your elbows. Point your fingers to the sky. Right arm under the left. Eagle arms. You can take a partial wrap like I'm doing, or take the full wrap. See what's available to you. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, pull your elbows down. Curl inward. Open up the space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, pull down. One more, inhale up. Exhale, pull down. Then unravel your arms, send your arms out in front. Once again, bend your elbows, point your fingers to the sky, and left arm under the right, either the full wrap or the partial wrap. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, pull down. One more, inhale up. Exhale, down. Come up, unravel your arms, sweep your arms up to the sky, right hand around your left wrist. Stretch and reach. Back to center, other direction. Reach and stretch. Back to center, arms down, hands together behind your back, interlace your fingers, chest expansion. Really open up. Lift your gaze. And release. Now we'll come into table on hands and knees. And when you come to your table, step your right foot out to the right, bring the entire sole of your foot down to the ground, and sweep your right arm out and up. Look up beyond your right fingers. And then find a half bind. Bend your elbow, place the back of your hand against your back. You can stay here, or you can tuck your left toes under and send your hips back towards your left heel. If you've shifted back, come back up, release your half bind. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your hand down to the mat. We'll bring the right knee back down to the mat. Step your left foot out to the left. Bring the entire sole of your foot down to the ground. And sweep your left arm out and up. Look up, reach up. Press the mat away with your right hand. And then take your half bind. And just as on the other side, you can remain right where you are, or curl your right toes under and send your hips back towards your right heel. If you've shifted back, come back up, release the half bind, inhale up. Exhale, bring your hand down to the mat, bring your knee down to the mat. Move through some cow and cat stretches. Round your spine one direction and the other. Come back to stillness in your table, and then walk your hands forward to a kneeling plank. Work your hips back towards your heels without moving your hands, and then lift back up to your kneeling plank. Send your hips back, lift back up. One more time, send your hips back, lift back up, and we'll come into downward facing dog. Curl your toes under, lift your knees, lift your hips. Work your right heel down as you bend your left knee, and then work your left heel down as you bend your right knee. Take that a couple more times. And come forward to your high plank. Shift forward slightly to the tips of your toes. Set your knees down on the mat. Gaze off the top of the mat as you lower yourself down slowly. Elbows brush the rib cage on the way down. When you get there, press down through the tops of your feet. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Let your hands stay light. Baby cobra. Lift your chin and chest. Inhale. Exhale, lower back down. Up to kneeling plank. And then all the way back to child's pose. Let your hands slide as your hips come back to your heels. And all the way up to downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, step your right foot forward inside your right hand. Stay on the ball of your back foot. You can keep your left fingertips, fist, or palm on the mat as you send your right arm out and up. Just as before, take the half bind. And you can either stay here Or straighten your right leg, lift your right toes, work your left heel down. If you've chosen to straighten, put the bend back in your knee. Release your half bind, inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your hand down to the mat. Once you plant your right hand firmly, lift your right leg up and back, bend your knee, open your hip. And come back to downward facing dog. Now step your left foot forward inside your left hand. Stack your knee over your ankle, stay on the ball of your back foot. Right fingertips, fist, or palm on the mat. Send your left arm out and up. Find your half bind. And either stay right here or straighten your left leg. If you've straightened, bend your knee once again. Release your half bind. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your hand down to the mat. Lift your left leg up and back. Bend your knee, open your hip. Back to downward facing dog. And from your downward facing dog, inhale, come forward, high plank. Exhale, set your knees down, lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, kneeling plank. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, kneeling plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Then look to your hands. Walk your feet to your hands. Forward fold near the top of your mat. Bend your knees, tuck your chin, roll up to standing. And at the top, inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, lower your arms down. We'll add our cactus arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, arms down. And then we add on again. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. And then dive down. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Inhale, find length. Come up part way. Flat back. Exhale, fold forward. And then sweep up to the sky. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, arms down. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Arms down at your sides. And inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Halfway lift. Breath in. Breath out, fold forward. This time plant your hands. Step back to your high plank pose. Shift forward, tips of the toes. Set your knees down. Lower yourself all the way down to your belly. We'll lift to baby cobra and then maybe higher. Press down through your hands. Straighten your arms. Peel your belly and thighs up off the mat. Now engage your glutes, engage your abs. Find that support to come back to child's pose. And up to downward facing dog. Look to your hands. Step feet to hands. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, arms down at your sides. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Open your heart. Inhale up. Arms down at your sides. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up and dive down. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Breath in. Breath out. Fold forward. Plant your hands. Step back. High plank. And shift forward, tips of the toes. Maybe you stay on your toes and lower to low plank this time. And then find an upward facing dog. Couple breaths, whatever you've chosen. You can stick with what we were doing before if that worked better. And then downward facing dog is where we meet. You can always take a child's pose on the way if that feels best. In downward facing dogs, look to your hands. Step feet to hands. One more time, same as before. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, arms down. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Arms down. Exhale. And then inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach high. And exhale, dive down, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step back and find your flow to downward facing dog. Or just step back to down dog. From your downward facing dog, look to your hands, step your feet to your hands, adding on this time. Inhale, sweep up to the sky. As you exhale, bring your hands together at heart center and sit back in your chair. Take a couple breaths here in chair. You might need to adjust your feet. It might feel better to have feet together or feet hip-width distance apart. Just make sure that your knees are more stacked over your ankles than going towards your toes. Okay, weight is back in your heels. Relax your shoulders. And we'll bring the left forearm to plant on the thighs, right arm behind you in a half bind. Keep sinking the hips back, weight in the heels. Your gaze might be to the right, it might be up to the sky. And release the half bind. We'll bring the arms out in front, both arms out in front. Inhale, come up, straighten your legs, exhale, cactus. Inhale up, exhale, hands to heart center, sit back in your chair once again. This time, right forearm presses down onto the thighs, left arm behind your back, half bind. Notice if your right knee starts sneaking forward. If so, pull your right hip back to keep your knees in alignment. That means your hips are in alignment. Slowly release the half bind. Send both arms out in front. Weight back in the heels. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. And exhale, dive down, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold and float. You might add an extra low plank if you'd like. Options. We meet in downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up and back. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, low lunge, knee to nose to step through. Pause here in your low lunge. Find your stability. And get really light in your fingers as you fire up all the muscles in your lower body, and then a slow rise to crescent. Your hands might come to heart center, or maybe you lift your arms up right away. If you've chosen hands at heart center, now we slowly bring the fingers up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, cactus. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards one another. Inhale back up. Exhale, fingers to the mat. Pause here in your low lunge. Fingertips on the mat. Straighten your right leg. Work your left heel down. Lift your right toes. Then put the bend back in your knee. Plant your palms firmly. Lift your right leg up and back. Bend your knee. Open your hip. Back to downward facing dog, and take a flow if you'd like. Otherwise, just hang out in downward facing dog. If you take a flow, make sure you're taking the flow that works for you right now. Then in our downward facing dog, inhale your left leg up and back. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Inhale back to center, and exhale, step through for a low lunge. Stay on the ball of your back foot. Find your stability here. You can shift your gaze forward slightly, get really light in your fingers. And as we rise to crescent, maybe hands come to heart center on the way up. Maybe you stretch your arms out in front right away. Chosen hands at heart center. Now lift your fingers up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, open arm twist to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, fingertips down to the mat. We'll straighten the left leg, fold over the straight left leg. And shift forward to the lunge once again. Plant your palms firmly, lift your left leg up and back, bend your knee, open your hip. Back to downward facing dog. And you can either stay there in down dog or take a flow. From your downward facing dog, look to your hands, step feet to hands. Inhale, sweep up to the sky. Exhale, sit low in your chair, hands at heart center. We'll keep hands at heart center to add our prayer twist. So lengthen through your spine as you breathe in. As you breathe out, twist to the right, left elbow onto or outside your right thigh. Now, where are your thumbs? If they are up by your right shoulder, press your right hand down into your left to bring your thumbs to heart center. Where is the weight in your feet? Shift it back into your heels. What's happening with your knees? If your left knee is sneaking forward, pull your left hip back. Keep your knees in alignment. Means your hips are in alignment. A slow return to center. We stay low in the hips. Send your arms out in front. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, chair, hands at heart center. Get ready to twist the other direction. Take a breath in, lengthen through your spine. Breath out, twist to the left. Elbow onto or outside your thigh. And again, thumbs stay in your heart center, not up by your shoulder. What's happening in your feet? What's happening in your knees? What's happening to your breath? Stay low as you come back to center. And stretch your arms out in front. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold and flow to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high, bend your knee. Exhale, open your hip. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, low lunge. Slow rise to crescent lunge. We'll bring arms right up to the sky this time. Inhale. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, cactus. Listen, inhale, back up. Exhale, hands together at heart center. We'll hinge forward. Breath in, lengthen. Breath out, twist. Elbow onto or outside your thigh. Again, thumbs close to heart center. Press your right hand down into your left. Keep your glutes active. Keep your back leg active. And back to center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fingers down to the mat. Straighten your right leg. Fold over your straight right leg. Shift forward to the lunge once again. Plant your hands firmly. Lift your right leg up and back. Bend your knee. Open your hip. Back to downward facing dog with or without a flow. Then inhale your left leg up and back. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, knee to nose, step through for a low lunge. Stabilize, rise to crescent. Fingers right up to the sky. Strong foundation. Inhale. Exhale, open arm twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up, hands to heart center. Exhale and hinge forward slightly. Lengthen top of the head down through your right heel. Strong line of energy. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Hands stay at heart center in this twist. Thumbs at heart center. Can you find even more of a lift through the back of your right leg, through your right heel? Take your time coming back to center. Fingers up to the sky, inhale. Exhale, fingertips down to the mat. Straighten your left leg, fold over your straight left leg. And shift forward to the lunge, plant your hands firmly, lift your left leg up and back, bend your knee, open your hip. And back to downward facing dog, with or without a flow. Then look to your hands, step feet to hands. Inhale, sweep up to the sky. Exhale, chair, hands at heart center. Breath in, breath out, twist to the right. Stay here for one breath. Then back to center, arms forward. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, sit low. Breath in, lengthen. Breath out, twist left. Stay here for one full breath. And then back to center, arms forward. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold and flow to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Inhale, back to center, three-legged dog. Exhale, low lunge, knee to nose. Step through. We rise to crescent just as before. Yeah. Inhale. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, cactus, open your heart. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hinge forward. Lengthen, breath in. Breath out, twist. Stay here for one breath. Then back to center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fingertips to the mat. Straighten your right leg. Fold. Return to the lunge. Plant your hands firmly. Lift your right leg up and back. Bend your knee. Open your hip. Back to downward facing dog, with or without a flow. And inhale, left leg high. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Inhale, back to center, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, step through, low lunge. Rise to crescent. Inhale. Exhale, open arm twist to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up, hands to heart center. Exhale, hinge forward, lengthen, breath in. Breath out, twist. Stay here for one breath cycle. Then back to center. Inhale up. Exhale, fingers to the mat. Straighten your left leg, fold. Return to the lunge. Plant your hands firmly. Lift your left leg up and back. Bend your knee, open your hip. Back to downward facing dog. Flow if you'd like. From your downward facing dog, look to your hands. Step or float feet to hands, changing things up. Inhale, sweep up to the sky. Stay lifted. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale up. Exhale, chair arms, stay lifted. Breath in, sink your hips back even more. Breath out, airplane arms. Inhale, arms up, keep your hips low. Exhale, airplane arms. And take that again, inhale. Exhale, airplane arms. And now with your airplane arms, right foot stays where it is. Lift your left foot off the mat. Take a long step back, crescent airplane arms. Find your stability. Open your chest. Now inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, cactus. Hold. Straighten your right leg and bend. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Hold here, nice bend in your knee. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, airplane arms. And we'll float to airplane, left leg up and back. Keep your arms strong. Keep both legs fully engaged. Press out through your left heel. We're going to find a slow transition to one-legged mountain. You can either bring your hands to heart center or keep your arms extended as you lift to an upright position, knee out in front of your hip, and then cross your ankle onto your thigh. Arms can stay lifted or hands to heart center as you start to send your hips back and down. Last couple breaths. You might sink your hips a little lower, soften any gripping in your right toes. And then come all the way back up. Knee out in front of your hip. Arms up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, chair, hands at heart center. Keep your hips nice and low. Inhale, arms forward. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, arms forward. Exhale, airplane arms. One more time. Inhale, arms forward. Exhale, airplane arms. Keep your arms right where they are. Left foot foundation. Lift your right foot off the mat. Drive your heel back. We'll step back to crescent with airplane arms. Now slowly, arms out in front. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Hold right here. Straighten your left leg. Bend. Straighten. Bend. Straighten. And bend. Hold right here. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, airplane arms. And we'll launch to airplane. Right leg up and back. Level out your hips. And now our slow transition to one-legged mountain. And a figure four. Cross your ankle onto your thigh. Sink your hips back, whether you keep your arms lifted or hands together at heart center. Relax your face, find your breath. Make your way back up. Knee out in front of your hip, arms up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, chair, hands at heart center. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale up, dive down. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold and flow. meet in downward facing dog. Take a breath in, breath out. We're getting ready for half pigeon. If you know that supine pigeon is a better option for you, that's fine. Come down to your back. Otherwise, lift your right leg up and back, bend your knee, open your hip. Back to center, draw your right knee all the way through. Plant your right knee behind or outside your right wrist. Send your left leg way back before you set your knee down. Square your hips to the mat. The tendency is to roll to one side or the other. Try to stay at center. And then walk your hands forward. Fold forward. And let go. Let everything go. You've chosen the supine position. You're on your back, right leg crossed over the left, just like we did in our figure 4. This time we don't need to balance. You might lift your left foot off the mat if you've chosen that variation. A few more breaths in whatever version you've chosen. If you are belly down, you might decide to take a variation, maybe a twist, or you could come up to your palms, bend your back knee, reach back, just scoop up your foot. Variations, release, and we'll meet back up on the palms. If you've chosen the supine version, just stay on your back, and we'll be meeting you there after our second side, so you'll just switch the cross of your legs. Otherwise, curl your back toes under, lift your right leg up and back, bend your knee, open your hip. You might even take a flipped dog here if you'd like. Meet back in downward facing dog, take a flow. If you've been on your back, maybe you take a couple bridge poses before you take your second side, crossing your left ankle onto your right thigh. For those of you in downward facing dog, lift your left leg up and back, bend your knee, open your hip. Back to center and all the way through. Plant your left knee behind your left wrist. Work your right leg way back. Square off your hips to the mat. And as you feel ready, walk your hands forward, but keep working your hips back. You might even tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee, and slide yourself back another couple inches before setting your knee back down and untucking your toes. This gives you a little bit more sensation, a little more depth. See where you can relax here. Or you can let go. If you took a variation on the other side, you may want to do that on this side. variations, release. Meet back on the palms. If you're on your back, just uncross your legs. We'll meet you there soon. If you're up on your palms, curl your back toes under, lift your left leg up and back, bend your knee, open your hip, maybe a flipped dog. We'll meet back in downward facing dog with or without a flow. And from your downward facing dog, look to your hands, walk your feet all the way through. Maybe a crouch and curl on the way before coming down to have a seat on your mat, knees bent, feet planted. Roll yourself down to your back. Bring your feet in fairly close to your hips, about hip-width distance apart. And as you root down through your feet, press your arms down at your sides and lift your hips for bridge. We're going to take a second set of bridge, so you do have the option of finding wheel this time or next time if you'd like. We'll lower the hips back down. And bring your right knee in towards your chest. Extend your left leg and move into your twist. Bring your right leg over to the left. Stretch your right arm out to the right. You may decide to straighten your right leg. You've chosen to straighten your leg. Bend your knee once again. We'll return to center. Keep your right knee in, pull your left knee in to meet your right. Circle your knees around a couple times. And then keep your left knee in as you extend your right leg, and we'll move into our twist on this side. Once you come into your twist, you may decide to straighten your left leg. If you've straightened, put the bend back in your knee. Return to center. Keep your left knee in as you pull your right knee in. Circle your knees around a couple times. And then we'll bring the soles of the feet back down to the mat, preparing for another set of bridge, or if wheel is in your practice, hands plant next to your ears, fingertips point towards your shoulders. You're either going to root down through your feet, lift your hips up for bridge like we did before, or for wheel, you lift everything up, hands and feet on the mat. I am sticking with bridge today. So you root down through your feet and hands or shoulders, hips lift up. And you find your expression, whether it's bridge or wheel. Beautiful lift. Take 3 more breaths. And after your 3 breaths, lower your hips down, pause. And it might feel good to bring the soles of the feet together to touch, knees open for a few breaths. If you've chosen that, bring your knees back up to center. We'll hug one knee and then the other in towards the chest. Send your feet up to the sky. Straighten your legs, pull your straight legs in. You could rock a little bit from side to side, or maybe move into a happy baby like we found earlier. yourself some time to find any movement that you need to prepare for the stillness of your Shavasana. And when you're ready for stillness, let yourself get comfortable. Your legs might be extended, your knees might be bent. Your arms might be in fairly close to your body, they might be stretched out to the sides, maybe even arms overhead. Find your place of stillness, a place where you can completely relax, completely let go, just like at the beginning of the practice. Find softness in your face. Relax all the muscles. And let the softness move down through your neck and your shoulders. Relax your arms. Relax all the way down through your torso, chest, belly, back. Relax your glutes, let your hips sink deeper into the mat. Relax your legs. As you rest here, I'd like to share a passage from A Path and a Practice. Called The Still Point. When the chatter of our mind quiets down, we find the still point around which all of life revolves. From this still point, we watch everything come and go in perfect peace. Everything that is, was, or ever will be has a common source from which it comes, in which it lives, and to which it returns. Understanding this coming and going, we return to our source. Living at the still point, we are open to all of life. Open to all of life. We don't judge anything. Not judging, we see with compassion. Seeing with compassion, we discover our true nature. Discovering our true nature, we are at home, and nothing in life disturbs us. Anytime you find yourself feeling scattered, overwhelmed, come back to that still point at center. Breathe in and breathe out. Find your grounding. Your place of peace. Notice your breath. And allow your breath to deepen as you begin your reawakening. And as you reawaken, thank yourself for making time to come to your mat today. Find small movements and add on to the movements. Eventually rolling to your side for a couple of breaths. Before rising to a comfortable seated position. Your seated position, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Thank you for allowing me to guide you today. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.